Hi friends, good morning. Today we are going to discuss in Geography Unit 6 about man and environment. Man, you know about the human, and the environment, the habitat of where the man is surviving. Environment, it's nothing, the surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal or plant lives. That is called habitat, man and environment. Look at the learning objectives. To know the components of environment. What are the classifications that we are going to discuss? To understand the various features of human environment. Interaction. Human environment interaction. To know various settlement patterns. What are the types of houses, different types of houses the people started to live. To know the different economic activities of man. To understand the environmental effects of human behavior. So these are the learning objectives we are going to study in man and environment. Introduction. What is environment? It is a set of relationship between man and nature. What is environment? It is a set of relationship between man and nature. Man has survived through the ages, dwelling within his surrounding called the environment. The word environment is derived from the French word environ, meaning encircled or surrounded. Environment includes both living and non-living components. What are the living components? Biotic, and non-living, abiotic components. Man and environment. Early man depended entirely on nature for food, clothing and shelter. This is every man's need. Okay, not only early man, each and every human, they need the basic things as a food, clothing and shelter. Nowadays we have added employment. Without that also we are unable to achieve those things. Man has enjoyed a dominant position over the other living organisms around him because of his erect posture, hands and intelligence. From the Paleolithic period, that is from the Olden Stone Age period, to the Neolithic, New Stone Age period, man has invented and developed the wheel, fire, tools and patterns of agriculture and housing to his comfort, which led him to improve the standard of living, making himself technologically advanced. Thus, modern man modified the environment where he multiplied in numbers to increase the population and has always extended his territories, leading to the exploitation of natural resources. Classification of environment. Environment is generally classified as natural environment, human environment and man-made environment. Look at this. Components of environment: natural, human and the man-made one. Look at the natural: land, air, water and the creatures. One among the components of environment. Man-made: buildings, parks, bridge, road, industries, monuments. Human: individual, family, the community belong, religion, education, economic and political. This is the structure of the components of environment. The first thing we are going to discuss about natural environment. Earlier, we have learnt about the natural components of environment such as lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So in this chapter, we will study about the human and man-made components in a detailed manner. Human environment. It's defined as the interaction between man as an individual with his family, occupation and society It is also related to various cultural aspects such as education, religion, economics, and politics. Man-made environment. Man-made environment has been created by man himself for the purpose of fulfilling his needs and to make his life more convenient and easy. For example, what he made: building, transport, park, industries, monument, etc. To bring an equilibrium, it's a balance between the man and the environment. Man has to study the distribution of population, availability of resources, development in technology, alternate means of fulfilling the increasing demand which created by the growing population, and other man-made features. So among this, the first we are going to discuss about the population. Can you imagine a world without human beings? No. Human beings are important to develop the economy and society. Economy, wealth, to make it as a rich. The society, the community, the people, those who lives together. The Latin word populus, which means people. Population is the total number of people living together in a particular place at the given point of time. What is population? Population is nothing but a total number of people living together in a particular place at the given point of time. Now, population growth. It is easy to add but difficult to maintain. Population is a dynamic, energetic phenomena where the number, distribution and composition are constantly changing. Human population increases as babies, those who are born, and decreases as people die. For most of the human history, births have only slightly exceeded deaths every year. As a result, human population grows slowly because death rate is very less comparatively to the birth rate. About the time of Industrial Revolution, it began to increase rapidly, fast. After the Industrial Revolution, the people started to grow, increasing very fast. Population growth. Natural increase, population change, population growth. So there are different types. Natural increase of population is the difference between the birth rate and the death rate. Natural increase of population is the difference between the birth rate and the death rate. In fact, population is always increasing, but only in very rare cases it may decrease through the natural or man-made disasters such as famine, landslides, earthquakes, tsunami, epidemics, extreme weather conditions and war. Now you think very well about epidemics. How pandemic period we are just facing for the COVID-19, like that. It's a Black Death is a good example for the epidemics. Population change, which refers to an increase or decrease in the population of an area, which influenced by the number of births, deaths and migration. So moving from one place to another place. The population of the world doubled from 500 million in 1650 to 1000 million in 1850. The projected population for 2025 and 2050 is about 8 billion and 9 billion respectively. Population growth, which refers to an increase in the number of people who reside in a particular area during a particular period. It's one of your third brief answer, first point. Second points continuously you can see in the census. Population growth, which refers to an increase in the number of people who reside in a particular area during a particular period. The second point you are finding for the third brief, census. What is census? It is an official enumeration of population carried out periodically. That is actually once in a 10 years normally used to take the census. What it records? It records the information about the characteristics of population such as age, sex, sex means both male or female or which kind of population is available, literacy, education level and occupation. So different countries of the world conduct census every 5 to 10 years, which is recommended by the United Nations. The first known census was undertaken nearly 6,000 years ago by the Babylonians in 3800 BC. Denmark was the first country in the modern world to conduct a census. So in India, the first census was carried out in the year 1872. Censuses have been conducted regularly every 10th year since 1881. The Indian census is the most comprehensive source of demographic, social and economic data. Have you ever seen a census report? Check in your library. Population increases when there are more births and immigration. It decreases when there are more deaths and emigration. So population growth can be calculated as here the distribution of population we are going to be see. Look at the important part, the Black Death, Karuppu Maranam. This is estimated to have killed nearly 30 to 60% of the Europe's total population during the 14th century. The dominant explanation for Black Death is attributed to the outbreak of plague, Kollai Noi. It's an epidemic disease that causes high mortality. Death rate is too much. So nearly 30 to 60% of the people of the Europe has been died during the 14th century. It's called as a Black Death. Distribution of population. Population distribution refers to the way in which people are spread out across the Earth's surface. The world population is not uniformly distributed owing to the following factors: physical factors, historical factors, economic factors. Physical factors, which include temperature, rainfall, soil, relief, water, natural vegetation, distribution of minerals, and availability of energy resources. Historical factors, regions with historical importance, that is river valley civilizations, war and constant invasions fall under the historical factors responsible for the population distribution. Economic factors, educational institutions, employment opportunities, manufacturing industries, luxurious amenities, trade and commerce, and other facilities which encourage the dense population in an area. Look at that. Do you know the World Population Day is observed on 11th July every year? So make a note, the World Population Day is observed on 11th July every year. It seeks to raise awareness of global population issues. The United Nations Development Programme started celebrating this event from the year 1989 onwards. Now look at the density of population. So one of your brief answer. Density of population refers to the number of people living per square kilometer. What is that? Density of population refers to the number of people living per square kilometer. An area is said to be sparsely populated when it has a large area with less number of people. Similarly, smaller the area with a large number of people, it is said to be densely populated. We can say, example, Chennai. Smaller the area, but population is too much. Large number of people. So it is densely populated city. Population density. Formula: total population divided by total land area. The world's population density is divided into three main groups: areas of high density, areas of moderate density, and areas of low density. So these are the three main groups in the world population density. Now look at the next point of view is human settlements. Settlement. What is that settlement? It can be described as any temporary or permanent unit area where the people live, work, and lead an organized life. It may be a city or town, village, or other agglomeration of buildings, that is collection of buildings, a mass buildings. During the early days, man preferred tree branches where the people survived. Tree branches under, then caves, their pits or the hole, even rock cuts as his shelter. As days passed by, man slowly learned the art of domesticating animals and cultivating the food crops. So very earlier, the people that doesn't know anything, they were a very nomadic one. After the days passed, slowly man started to learn the art of domesticating animals and cultivating the food crops. The evolution of farming took place along four major river basins, that is the Nile, the Indus, the Huanghe River, Euphrates, Tigris, that is Nile Valley Civilization, Indus Valley Civilization, and the Yellow River Valley Civilization. This is Sumerian civilization, Euphrates and Tigris rivers. Man built huts and mud houses. Slowly settlements came into existence. The people started to settle as per their work. A settlement generally consisted of a cluster, bunch of houses, place of worship and place of burial. Later, small settlements developed into villages. Then several villages together formed as a town. Bigger towns developed into cities. So settlements were formed in different shapes, sizes and locations. Now we are talking about classification of settlements. There are two types, rural and urban settlements. On the basis of occupation, settlements may be classified as a rural and urban settlements. Rural means village, where the primary activities are available. Urban settlement, non-agricultural products, the development, secondary, tertiary and quaternary work is possible. Now rural settlement. Any settlement where most of the people are engaged in primary activities like agriculture, forestry, mining and fishery, which is known as a rural settlement. Most of the world's settlements are rural, that are mostly stable and permanent. The most important and unique feature of rural settlements is the vast open spaces with green, pollution-free environment. The patterns of rural settlements. What are the different patterns you are finding in the villages? A rectangular pattern, linear pattern, circular or semicircular pattern, star-like pattern, and you have a triangular pattern. So all these types. First let me go to the rectangular pattern. Rectangular pattern of settlements are found in plain areas or in the valleys where the river valley find. The roads are rectangular. Look at the roads, how it is in a rectangular shape and cut each other at right angles. That is a rectangular pattern. Linear pattern. In a linear pattern, the houses are located along a road, a railway line, and along the edge of the river valley or along a levee, that is a valley under the river. Circular or semicircular pattern. The pattern of the settlement that is found around the lakes, ponds and sea coast are called as a circular or semicircular pattern. Star-like pattern, where several metalled or unmetalled roads converge. Star-shaped settlements develop. In the star-shaped settlements, houses are spread out along the sides of roads in all directions. Look at this. In all the directions you can see roads. Now it's a triangular pattern. Triangular patterns of rural settlement generally developed at the confluence of rivers. T-shaped, Y-shaped, cross-shaped or cruciform settlements. Look at this. T-shaped settlements developed at tri-junctions of the roads, T, while Y-shaped settlements emerge as the places where two roads converge with a third one. So cruciform, that is cross-shaped settlements develop on the crossroads which extend in all the four directions. Now look at the final one, nebular pattern. Nebular relating to that houses or mosques nearby where the people are surviving. The arrangement of roads is almost circular, which ends at the central location or nucleus of the settlement around the house of the main landlord of the village or around a mosque, temple or the church. The arrangement of road is almost circular. So this is called as a nebular pattern. Now urban settlements. Till now we have discussed about the rural settlements. Now we are talking about the urban settlements. Urban is a term related to cities. Rural means villages. Now urban is a term related to cities and the towns where the peoples are primarily engaged in non-agricultural activities such as secondary, tertiary and quaternary activities. Settlements are nothing but an act of making stable or putting on a permanent basis. The settlements where the people are settling. The common characteristic feature of an urban unit is that they are the compact, congested and liable to a large number of population. They comprise of mostly man-made structures that fulfill the requirements of a society's administrative, cultural, residential and religious functions. The factors responsible for urbanizations are better employment opportunities with suitable conditions for the business, education, transport, etc. Now the classification of urban settlements. Urban centers are classified as towns, cities, metropolitan cities, megacities, conurbation, etc. depending on the size and the services available and functions rendered to it. Look at this, conurbation, increase in the size of settlement, population and services, which shows you city, large town, small town, village, hamlet and isolated place. First let me go to the town. A town is generally larger than a village but smaller than a city. It has a population of less than 1 lakh. Example, Arakonam near Chennai. It's a town. It is not even a city, not even a village. It is a town. City. Cities are much larger than the towns and have a greater number of economic functions. The population in cities are estimated to be more than 1 lakh. Example, Coimbatore. Metropolitan cities. Cities accommodating population between 10 lakhs and 50 lakhs are called as a metropolitan cities. Example, Madurai. Mega cities. Cities with more than 50 lakh populations are called mega cities. Example, Greater Chennai. Conurbation. It's a region comprising of a number of cities, large towns and other urban areas together. Example, Delhi conurbation. So, these are the different types of settlements in the urban. Now, we are discussing about economic activities. Economic activities are those efforts or actions that involve the production, distribution and consumption of commodities and services at all levels within a region. So here types of economic activities: primary activities, secondary activities, tertiary activities, quaternary activities and the quinary activities. So first we are going to discuss about the primary and the secondary activities. This is one of your distinguish. Primary activities pertain to the extraction of raw materials from the earth's surface. For example, food gathering, hunting, lumbering, fishing, cattle rearing, mining and agriculture. You know about the lumbering, cutting of trees. Fishing, everybody knows that. Cattle rearing, mining and agriculture is the primary activities. Secondary activities. Secondary activities transform raw materials into finished goods. That is industries. For example, iron and steel industries, automobile, manufacturing industries. So all these under the secondary activities. This is one of your distinguish. Environmental issues. Environment is the basic life support system that provides air, water, food and land to all living organisms, but human beings degrade the environment through the rapid industrialization. Some of the environmental issues that we are going to learn are deforestation, pollution such as air, water, noise, etc., urbanization, fracking, waste disposal. One among that, one of the issue, deforestation, we are going to see now. You know very well what is deforestation. It is the cutting down of trees permanently by the people to clear the forest in order to make the land available for other uses. Other uses like for the constructions, industries, buildings and anything else. What are the effects of the deforestation? Deforestation results in many effects like floods and droughts, loss of soil fertility, air pollution, extinction of species, global warming, spread of deserts, depletion of water resource, melting of ice caps and glaciers, rise in sea level and depletion of ozone layer. The United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED, by the name Earth Summit Conference held at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, on June 1992, which concluded that all member countries should reduce their emission of carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases which thought to be responsible for the global warming. What to do with that? Conservation of forests, preservation, prevention of wasteful use of resources. Conservation is nothing but a protection, preservation, or management. So, point number 1 in conservation of forests, it can be done through the regulation of cutting of trees. Point number 2, control over the forest fire. Through the regular monitoring and controlling the movement of the people, forest fire can be prevented. Point number 3, proper use of forest products. We depend on forests for our survival, from the air we breathe to the wood we use. Besides providing habitats for the animals and livelihoods for the humans, forest products are one of the most essential things in our day-to-day life. Therefore, we must use forest products properly. Now the final point, sustainable development. Sustainable is nothing but a nilayanadu, stable. Okay. In 1987, Brundtland Commission stated the definition of sustainability. Sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Sustainable development is a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. That is sustainable. For sustainable development to be achieved, it is very crucial, very important to harmonize, to coordinate 3 core elements. What are that? Economic growth, social aspects, and environmental protection. These elements are interconnected and are crucial for the well-being of individuals and societies. To achieve the true sustainability, we need to balance the economic, social, and environmental factors of sustainability in equal harmony. Look at this, the picture which shows you about sustainability together with 3 factors: economic growth, social aspects, and environmental protection. Sustainability, the ability to be sustained without causing problems such as inflation. Economic growth, social aspects, environmental protection. First point of view, social sustainability. The ability of a social system such as a country or family or organization to function at a defined level of social well-being and harmony is called as a social sustainability. Problems like war, endemic poverty, that is pandemic one, widespread injustice and low education rates are symptoms of a system in a social unsustainable. Economic sustainability. The people on earth which consume far more than what is their fair share. The economic sustainability is successfully implemented through the strong public distribution system, PDS, ration shop. Economic sustainability ensures that our economic growth which maintains a healthy balance with our ecosystem. Environmental sustainability. Environmental sustainability is the ability of the environment to support a defined level of environmental quality and natural resource extraction rates forever to mankind. So unnecessary disturbances to the environment should be avoided whenever possible. So these are the important points of the sustainable development. So on the whole of the man and environment, it shows the importance of the human population. The place, things and nature that surround any living organism is called environment. So the interaction between man as an individual with his family, occupation and society is called human environment. You know about the population. Population is a dynamic phenomena where the number, distribution and composition are constantly changing. So almost all The important part is available here about the sustainability. So please go through the lesson, dears. Thank you.